Hi everyone and welcome to our next video. In this video we're going to take a look at something called selection in computer programming. Selection is commonly used not just in C++ but in many different languages. And basically it's all about making decisions. Computers can make decisions really quickly based on whether or not something is true or something is false. And specifically, we're going to see how this works in something called if, then, else, or sometimes we just use if and else. And basically, it works like this here. If you're playing your favorite game, for instance, your game is constantly checking, say, your health condition, and it's going to do something based on the health condition of a character, or maybe the ammunition level of a character. If it is sufficient, it will do one thing. If it runs out, then it's going to do another thing. So that's what selection is all about. So basically it looks like this here. If some condition is true, then we will do something. If it's false, then it goes to here and we do something different. So that's the structure of if, then, else, or as we said, sometimes it just looks like if and else. Some languages leave this out, but that's really the basis of how this works. Let's take a look at this in C++, and we'll start with a simple example. So first thing is we need to know how to use what we call comparison operators. We need to be able to show equal to or greater than or less than. And these are called comparison operators. And they're shown up here. Here's examples of comparison operators. If we want to check to see if something is equal to, we're going to put two equal signs together. If we want to check not equal to, we're going to use an exclamation mark followed by equal to. This is the symbol for greater than, and this is less than. This is greater than equal to. This is less than equal to. When we're writing these last two, make sure you put the less than or greater than first, followed by the equal to. Let's take a look at how some of these comparison operators work. It's a really simple program. All we do is we create a variable called age. It is an integer, and we're going to set it equal to 16. And basically all this line here does is it uses the comparison operators, and it will output something based on this comparison operator used here. So we can see that we've assigned the age equal to 16 here. So when we get to here, what it does is it's checking, does the age equal 16? Well, we set it equal to 16 here. So yes, 16 is equal to 16. So what does it look like when we run it? So let's click on run. And here, we get the number 1. Well, what does that mean? That means it's true. If it comes out as a 1, that means it's true. If I go back here and I change this to 15, now the ages are not equal to. So when it comes here, this is going to be false. So when I run it, it shows 0. 0 represents that is false. If we change this here, and let's use less than equal to, well, we know 15 is less than or equal to 16. So if we run this, it should be true. And sure enough, we see that it is 1. If we take this and we put this as greater than, is 15 greater than or equal to 16? We know it's false. So when we run this, it should come out as a 0. So those are the comparison operators that you should become familiar with. We're going to use those when we do selection. Let's take a look at an example of simple selection. This program will determine the ticket price that you will pay at a movie theater. We're going to keep this really simple. Basically, we're going to say if you're a senior, then you get in free, and if you're not a senior, then you have to pay $10. We'll make our program really simple because we want to show how if, else works. Here's what we've done here. We've got a variable called integer, or sorry, age. It is an integer, and we're checking here. If the age is greater than or equal to 65, if that is true, we're going to output you are a senior, so you are free. If that's not true, it jumps to here. It jumps to else, and it says you are not a senior, so you must pay $10. That's all the program does. So if we run this program and we enter an age of 67, we know that that is a senior age. So our program says you are a senior, so you are free. In other words, this here was true, so it executed this cout statement. If we run it again and we put in an age of 15, and we run it. Oops, let's run it again. So 15, and it checks here. Is 15 greater than or equal to 65? No, it's not. So it jumps to else and it executes the cout command here. You're not a senior, so you must pay. So that's an example of using selection in C++. If we just have this one condition we're checking here. Now, as we know in a movie theater, we have different prices for different age groups. It's not just seniors or others. It's more complex than that. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to have to use more advanced selection. So this program here takes a look at conditions that are a little more advanced. So in this case here, we're going to say if the age is greater than or 65, then we are going to make them pay $10 for a senior ticket. We can check then another age group using else if. This is new. In the last example, we didn't have else if. But if I have another condition I want to check, I'm going to use else if. Else if age is greater than or equal to 18. So if they're a senior, this will run. Now it's going to check to see if, say, they're 20 years old. If they're 20, it's going to fall into this selection, and this will be the output. You will pay $12 for a ticket as an adult. If this is not true, and it goes to this one and checks to see if that's not true, it's going to go to this one. So if they entered an age of 13, well, that's not true, so then it moves to this else if and it checks. If that is true, is 13 greater than or equal to 18? No, that's not true, so it jumps to this one. Is age greater than or equal to 12, which we know that that is true. So it will execute this line here. So we have if, then we have another condition here, else if. We're checking another age group. We have another else if here. We're checking another age group. If it doesn't fall into any of these age groups, then it will fall under else. So if they entered an age of 5, well, it doesn't satisfy this here. Is 5 greater than or equal to 65? No, it's not. Is 5 greater than or equal to 18? No. Is 5 greater than or equal to 12? No. So then it goes to here. We're not including any more conditions. It will just fall under else. And it will output you are allowed in free as you are 11 or under. So if we run this here, and we enter an age of 67. It did do what we expected. You will pay $10 for a ticket as a senior. If we run it again and we put in an age of 5, then it jumps down to here. You are allowed in for free as you are 11 or under. So it checked this condition. It was false. It checked it here. It was false. It checked it here. It was false. So it ends up going to the else, and it outputs this line of code. I hope that helps you learning selection in C++. That's it for this video.